EPA WA meteorologist Bobby Martin with your outlook for May 20th, 2026. Welcome to Wild Weather Wednesday, brought to you by Pure Sight and Sound. Did you know it takes about 23 hours and 45 minutes for a signal from Earth to reach Voyager 1? Another 23 hours and 45 minutes to get a response back. That may be fine for a spacecraft drifting through deep space, but it is in no way to run a home technology company. At Pure Sight and Sound, when you call, you'll speak with a real human being right here in Northeast Pennsylvania. And if they're tied up helping another customer or stuck on a ladder, they'll call back faster than you've ever expect, often within a minute. For home theaters, outdoor audio, golf simulators, the whole home music systems, call Ed at the phone number above me here in the video, 570-992-2992. Or visit them on the web at puresightandsound.com. Pure Sight and Sound, real people, fast answers, no deep space delay. So today we have, for the first time in a while, I got a thunderstorm image behind me. We haven't had these much this spring. We haven't really had much in the way of severe weather. Had really thunderstorms in general. We had a few days here or there, but it wasn't really that active of a spring to this point. But we're finally going to get some of that today with a cold front moving through the area, some very hot and humid temperatures that are going to be ahead of this cold front for at least our south and eastern areas. This cold front's going to be moving through rather early for areas that are in our northern and northwestern areas, so I don't think you're going to get into any noteworthy thunderstorms because of the fact that it's moving in so early in the day. You're going to have places like Wilkes-Barre, for example, will have this front move through early in the afternoon. So at that point, you're really not taking advantage of any kind of diurnal heating, especially when the high temperatures there are going to be in the lower 80s most likely, whereas further south and east, you get down to like the Lehigh Valley, it's going to be close to 90, and then you get down to Philadelphia, it's going to be close to 95. By the way, Philadelphia yesterday not only set set a record for the day yesterday with reaching 98 degrees. That is the highest recorded temperature in history in Philadelphia, which goes back into the 1800s. That's pretty impressive. 98 degrees was the hottest May day ever recorded. So there's been some pretty hot temperatures that were across the region yesterday. I don't think we're getting quite that hot today, but it's going to be very close. Mid-90s we're still expecting here in Philadelphia before this front moves through. And that's because the storms aren't going to get down to the Philadelphia region until about 6 o'clock today. So we're going to go over to the RRFS. I explained this is going to be replacing the NAM 3-kilometer version eventually. It's going to be August 31st. This is going to be taking over as the new short-range expertise for storms. So we're going to be able to do a comparative analysis today and see how we did, choosing one over the other. We're not going to choose either one. I'm just going to show you that what the RRFS has and what the 3-kilometer NAM, which is still running, has for this day and how it evolves. So I will tell you that the Storm Prediction Center does have a marginal risk for severe weather still. This is across our south and eastern areas, and I don't really have a problem with this at all, especially since the areas northwest of here really aren't going to get into too much, except maybe storms starting to initiate up here. But anything that would be marginally severe or isolated, in other words, would be further south and east, and I think they have the right idea with that, because areas further northwest, Williamsport up to Wilkes-Barre, don't really see a severe weather threat for you today, but areas further south and east, it is possible, okay? So with that being said, this is largely, their outlook here is largely RRFS based, okay? And as they're kind of saying, okay, well, we're going to be going to this, so we might as well start using it, and that's what they're doing. So here, and the high resolution rapid refresh, the shorter range model that runs every 6 hours. It runs every hour, but every 6 hours it runs to 48 hours in the future. Looks a lot like the RRFS2, okay? So here's what this has, all right? We get to mid-afternoon, we get some initiation out here in these areas that are not really expecting severe weather, but any isolated severe will be further east, and you can see that's exactly what the RRFS is doing as we get close to 6 p.m. By the way, the Phillies play a day game today. I don't think you're going to be affected at all here in South Philadelphia with any thunderstorm activity. That would be well after the game is over, so there's no issues there. And then tomorrow they have a day off, so any showers on Thursday won't be in play either. So here is the showers and thunderstorms. They get to a certain point, which includes southeast PA, central New Jersey, but then it doesn't really advance farther southeast of I-95 as far as any severe potential. So that's the only part I disagree with on this particular image. I think your marginal risk area is generally in these areas right in here, and that's it, not here. Okay, but with what they have here, they're kind of combining a few things, the NAM and that I'm about to show you, and the RRFS to make this this determination. So here's where that the thunderstorm activity is going to be, and again, your best chance of severe is going to be generally east central PA, south central PA, southeast PA, and central and northern New Jersey. I think have the best chance to see any kind of gusty winds. That would be the primary severe mode we're talking about today. It will be isolated, but there could be some wind gusts that get a little frisky with some of these cells. And then after that, we go through the evening. It just turns into showers. That's going to continue overnight. And then we have some showers that are going to continue into Thursday morning and even into the early to mid-afternoon hours, you can see here, until that frontal boundary finally pushes through. Okay, so the frontal boundary, the reason why the storms aren't just going to plow through is the front is not going to plow through. It's actually going to get hung up and stall, and that's why we have these storms just kind of falling apart and losing their punch at that point. So about the 3-kilometer NAM, here's what it has. And is not thrilled for areas up in here. Instead, it takes it over to Delmarva with some of these storms here, and that's it. And so the Storm Protection Center is like, okay, well, one of these are going to be right, so we're just going to blanket the entire area with a marginal risk and call it a day. That's basically what they're doing here for the southeastern areas. I don't think it's going to be southeast of I-95 as far as a threat is concerned. The HRR is agreeing with the RRFS. It's a lot of acronyms here. So I would tend to lean in this direction here. But it does also have, the NAM also has that shower activity on Thursday morning when that front is pushing through. We're going to have showers that are going to go through early afternoon up to I-78, and it'll be mid to late afternoon further south and east, closer to I-95, and then that will diminish as we head into the evening as the front continues to push off further to the south. Big difference in temperature. Temperatures today, as you see above me, 83 to 95 is the temperature spread, and that's because our northwest areas will get that. The front will clear a little bit faster. Southeastern areas like Philadelphia will take a lot longer to get those showers and storms, so you'll have the chance to get to the mid-90s. But then tomorrow everywhere is in the mid-upper 60s. So that's a big slap in the face compared to where we just were. All right. So here's the temperatures today, still above average across the region. Then we get into tomorrow, and it's like, whoa, boy, what just happened? Okay. And that's going to continue to build here over the next couple of days. I think as we get into the holiday weekend, especially the start of the holiday weekend, we're going to be struggling to get out of the 50s on Saturday. And that's because we have a system that's going to bring periods of rain on Saturday. A lot of rain, a lot of clouds, and temperatures might not get out of the 50s in some areas. And then it will start to moderate as we get it later in the weekend, but it's going to take a little bit to do that. Here's what the surface map looks like, and this is our best guess of what's going to happen and how this plays out this weekend as of right now. Here's the front today. Again, we have showers here on Thursday morning and then continuing to early to mid-afternoon. Even late afternoon further south and east until this front finally pulls off the south. That same frontal boundary is going to be dragged northward as a warm front, but it's going to do so very late on Friday. Okay, so I think like there's another game here in South Philadelphia here on Friday. I think you might be okay with that one in Philadelphia. And then the precipitation comes in afterwards. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be dragging on and on into Friday as well, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's another couple of videos away. But we do have a warm front moving through. This is the same boundary moving through today as a cold front, now moving back northward as a warm front. Along that boundary will be an area of low pressure that's going to bring periods of rain on Saturday. I think Saturday is your best chance day to see a washout type thing, okay? Over the holiday weekend, it's going to be very chilly, temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60, and that's it. And then we have some showers continuing overnight. Going into Sunday morning, there is a chance that you get in the afternoon. Here's the afternoon on Sunday. Right there, you can see not much going on here. So it will shut off. You might have some breaks in between here. There's not going to be a constant rain this entire weekend, but it's going to remain mostly cloudy on Sunday. But it looks like it have some morning showers and then get a break in the action as far as the rain's concerned. They have some more showers working through overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning, which, of course, is Memorial Day itself, and then the afternoon again is clearing out and getting better. And then Tuesday looks like it's going to be a dry day with temperatures rebounding into the middle 70s. So a little cooler over the weekend, not the best holiday weekend forecast. We're used to this. This has been most cases over the past decade or so. There's been ample times I can recall where Memorial Day weekend, at least part of it was ruined. That's going to be the case again this week. This year. It's not any different. So we should be used to this by now. This is long. This was a long time coming. We knew this was going to be an issue over this weekend for a while, and it looks like as we're getting closer to it, now we're just looking for opportunities, windows of opportunity to get something in, and then salvage parts of the weekend. So we're going to be doing that over the next couple of days as we get new information. But right now, it looks like Saturday is the worst day of this holiday weekend. Might have some marginal improvement on Sunday. Monday might be the same deal where it starts off maybe gloomy in the morning and then turns out to be not too bad later in the day. But we will continue to monitor that over the next couple of days and give you the latest as we see it. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is your outlook for May 20th, 2026. Have a great Wednesday.